Hey everyone, today we are reacting to Bruno Mars's new album. It's called The Romantic. It's his first album in like 10 years, which is crazy. I'm pretty excited for this one. I think the last album he was actually on was An Evening with Silk Sonic, which is like, I feel like it's one of the most iconic album of the 20s so far, and it's definitely one of my favorites for sure. I'm also seeing Bruno live in April. I booked the tickets just because I'd get to see him singing Silk Sonic songs. But you know, I'm hoping that this album is good too, so I have something extra to look forward to. I have heard some first impressions saying that the album does not sound like the lead single I Just Might, which we reacted to. Go check that out. And I think that's a good thing, to be honest, just because like I liked I Just Might. It's absolutely catchy, but as it's kind of aged, it started to sound a little bit more like a Bruno Mars cosplay. It feels like it kind of like lacks a little bit of emotional depth, and I'm hoping we get a little bit of more of that from Bruno Mars rather than just like a rehash of the sounds he's had in the past 10 or so years. But yeah, this is a very tight 9-track album. So this is gonna be a short one, I'd say. Yeah, I'm excited to get into it. Do forgive me, I'm a little bit ill, so my voice probably sounds a little bit different today. Yeah, before we get into it, if you enjoy the video, make sure you like. If you want to see more like this video, please subscribe and comment down below what you want to see next. Yada yada yada. Typical YouTube spiel. But other than that, let's get into it. All right, track 1 is called Risk It All. I've heard this one's like the next single. I've heard a lot of people really like it, so I'm expecting good things. Let's get into it. Okay. Feels Latin influenced. Love that he's using a band. That's pretty cool. I'll do anything. He sounds good as usual. Anything you ask me to. I wouldn't have expected it to start up here. I think it's gonna get bigger, I'd say. There's nothing I won't do. I'd risk it all for you. To hold your hand. Oh, hell yeah. You can salsa to this, alright. Classic Bruno, like, I'll hurt myself for you. Because that's the entirety of, like, Grenade, isn't it? Oh, I'm loving the orchestra. Wow. Why does he have to hurt himself for her, though? Why is that every song of his? I'm kind of glad it is more on the chill side. It's not some, like, big number. This is nice. I'm enjoying this. And I love, like, the mariachi, like, sounding backing here. Like, I wouldn't expect this as a single, you know? It's very different from I Just Might. Which is a good thing. Alright, so that was Risk It All. That was good. Already liked it more than I Just Might. And I'm glad that it's different than I Just Might. I am very intrigued by the sound. I don't think he's done Latin-inspired sound before. So this is a new direction for him. Maybe it was an intelligent decision, given just how big Latin music has been, especially with Bad Bunny winning Album of the Year and stuff. But yeah, it was similar to what he usually does in terms of, like, it was very, like, it's very much crooner energy. He's still yearning. Bruno Mars is a big yearner. And every, like, I feel like so many hit songs of his are him just being like, I would maim myself and seriously hurt myself to be with you. And, you know, I hope he finds a girl that he does not have to seriously hurt himself for. I don't think you should need to do any of that shit. So, but yeah, this was a really cool song. I was expecting it to be a bigger song, like more bombastic, especially considering that it is going to be the second single. And I'm very pleasantly surprised to see that it's not. It stayed a little bit more mellow. It was very nice. So I can definitely see myself listening to that again. Let's move into the next track. The next track is track 2. It's called Cha Cha Cha. Fits considering I Just Might, the whole thing is like being like, yeah, if you can't dance, you can't be with me, basically. Like, that's what the entire song was. So yeah, Cha Cha Cha. And I've heard good things about this one too. Immediately similar vibe to Risk It All. Oh, okay. What are lemon pepper steppers? Oh, it's an interpolation. Okay. Ooh. Ah, that chorus was amazing. Whoa. Okay, I like this song a lot. I'm in. I'm here. I'm in. But yeah, it turns out so that verse was a interpolation, which is cool. I'm really liking the like the doubling of his voice, where it feels like a group of people are singing. Oh, and then the Hooligans is his band, right? Yeah. Ooh, his runs. Ugh. A lot of interpolation on this one, if this is real. Interesting, because like an entire verse and then like half the chorus, that's more than I would expect, you know? Hey! Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. I love that production switch. Ah. It is a little bit Silk Sonic-y in the fact that it's like very like 60s and 70s. Oh my god. Me. Oh, okay, and then back in the sort of like the Latin tinged part of this. Wow, that was Cha Cha. Oh, it's Cha Cha Cha. I think it's 3 of them. Cha Cha Cha. That was so good. I love that. I would love to dance cha-cha to this song. But yeah, that was even better than Risk It All in my opinion. Oh my god, I love that so much. I am really intrigued by the fact that it was so much of it was interpolated, because according to Genius, it's like the entire first verse was interpolated from a song, I think, pretty old song it said. A 1972 classic called Backstabbers. And then also half the chorus was interpolated. It was interpolated from a 2003 song called Slow Motion. So I am surprised by just how much of this song is borrowed. Because then I feel like it loosens the inspiration. Not that there is likely much inspiration behind this song other than like, we are at club, you are dancing, it is nice, you know, like that feels to be the general vibe of this song, and that's the vibe of a lot of his songs, so that doesn't really surprise me in the slightest. I was thinking about this one thing. I feel like his collaborations as of late have not really matched this music at all. I was thinking about the song he has with Sexy Red called Fat Juicy and Wet. I was like, where did that come from? It didn't come from here. You know what I mean? Like, this is a different Bruno. That was such an out of left field collaboration. I really don't like that song. But, like, beyond that, I was just, like, so floored to see that. And typically I expect that, like, if an artist is doing collaborations, that it won't be a completely different thing to what they're doing. I mean, I'm not saying that they're restrained to whatever album they're currently developing, but that Fat Juicy and Wet is so out of left field that I was like, honestly, wasn't saying this, but I was a little bit concerned that when we hear this album, it was going to be more leaning in that direction. And I wasn't as excited because that's just not for me, you know? So yeah, I'm glad that that wasn't what this is. But yeah, this was cool. It was very much like a pop song with like a little bit of a Latin twist, Latin wink in it, which might be the sort of central through line of this album. But yeah, let's keep going. So the next song is track 3. It's I Just Might, which was the lead single. I reacted to it on this channel, so if you haven't checked that out, please do. But yeah, we already know this one, and again, it was a catchy song, didn't really have a lot of emotional depth, didn't really feel like a new direction or a palate cleanser or anything that I would hope for a lead single to be. I'm hoping maybe it'll make more sense in context, but I don't remember it sounding anything like the 2 songs that we've heard already. So, I don't know, we'll see. Also, apologies in advance if it looks like my audio is not syncing. It's so, like, touch and go. It's so frustrating. I can never tell when it's working and when it's not working. So I hope that this is all synced together, and if it's not, I'm so sorry. Anyways, let's get into track 3, I Just Might. See, you can't tell me that this sounds anything like the previous 2 songs at all. It doesn't. Like, it's catchy. You can't deny that. Those do-to-dos are so catchy. In general, it's like this was made to be a lead single. It's like they were like, let's make a lead single, and they made this. Like, that's what it sounds like, you know? He sounds so good, though. You cannot deny him that. He's like one of the best male singers we have out right now. Oh, he's too good. This part is so dramatic. Even in the video, he's like, woo, 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 woo. It's too much. Oh yeah, I don't love this this bridge. It's like this part felt like they couldn't figure out what to do, so they were just like, yeah, I don't know. Alright, that was I Just Might, and unfortunately it doesn't really make sense to me in what we've heard so far. Now we've only heard, okay, so at this point in time, hearing I Just Might, we've heard a third of this album. And the 2 first tracks, they were more Latin tinged, they were a little bit more chill, they really leaned into inspirations from like the early 70s. I liked them a lot. I Just Might is super catchy, but it does sort of feel like, and I've said this a couple times now in this video, but like it does just feel like a Bruno cosplay. It doesn't really feel like it has his passion in it or his soul or depth to it at all. So I Just Might, for me, I'm wondering how this actually fits in other than serving as a lead single. You know what I mean? Like, is it anything beyond a lead single? It doesn't feel like it in this album that it plays a bigger part other than like getting people to stream at least one song off of this. So yeah, I don't know. It's a catchy song, but currently it's in the bottom of my ranking, I'd say. All right, let's move to the next track, which is track 4. It's called God Was Showing Off. Already, that's a hilarious title. I need Bruno to be calm. That is so dramatic. But yeah, this is obviously gonna be like a love song of just like, oh, God took his time on you. You know, you're unreal. You're this. You're that. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll get some emotional depth here. Or maybe this is 9 tracks of just like dance songs. Who knows? We'll find out. Ah. This is like super Silk Sonic. This is like Silk Sonic all over it. Yeah, this is very... This could have been on an evening with Silk Sonic. Okay, again, catchy song. Super catchy song. But it's just like variations of what he's already done, you know? Not to be a hater, sorry guys.
You know, whoever said God don't have favorites.
Oh, he's speaking. Okay.
Now everybody got something special, but it's obvious you've been blessed with just a little more. Hallelujah.
All right, not bad. Not bad for a bridge. Oh God, his belts! How does he do that? Oh, that was so high. His voice is so high. Oh, his runs too, they're so nice. Okay. He's so dramatic. Damn. The light. Yeah. Cool. Oh, okay, Bruno. I hear you in the back. That was sick. Okay. All right, that was God Was Showing Off, track 4. It was really good. Again, he makes a track after track. They're all hits. Absolutely. They're all super catchy. You can bop to them. I think with God Was Showing Off, I started to like it a lot more at the end there when he sort of vocally flexed a little bit. But I still felt like, I think this one specifically just felt like it was straight up, it felt like he was just digging in the pocket to Silk Sonic. I fully expected Anderson .Paak to come out. And honestly, I would have loved to hear Anderson .Paak to come out. I think he would have been great on this track. But I feel like then that would have been too much of a tell that, yeah, this is basically just like an evening with Silk Sonic scrap, you know? So it is, again, not everything an artist has to do has to be something completely new. But this doesn't necessarily show growth for me. It kind of just... God Was Showing Off was very much a song that I would expect off of his previous project with Anderson .Paak. But, you know... Credit where it's due. Fantastic song. Vocally, he sounded amazing. That high belt at the end was so good. His runs are so fun and so quick. I can't wait to try that run at the end that he has on the song there that just keeps going. It sounds like he's just having fun with it. And honestly, I didn't mind the talking on the bridge. At least it was something new. You know what I mean? So I didn't mind that at all. But yeah, good song. Let's jump to the next track, which is track 5. It's called Why You Wanna Fight. So this is going to be like the relationship tension track. It's the, you know, now we're not working out anymore. Now maybe the devil was showing off. Who knows? Maybe that's what he was doing when he made you girl. Maybe that's what the song is. Probably not, but regardless, let's get into it. This is track 5, Why You Wanna Fight. See, like, this is just like, I'm like, oh, is this Put on a Smile from Silk Sonic? What is this? He loves his woos. Big wooer. In many ways. Both vocally and actually. A lot of negative space on this song. A lot of gaps. Yeah, with how many gaps... Okay, I need to shut up maybe. his voice. Woo! This chorus is kind of boring me a little bit. One of the things I was going to say last time when I got cut off by his voice, which I might in a second. There it is. It like sounds nice, but I feel like for how plain the production is, there's so many gaps where he's like, he's not singing, it's just like the little bells that you're hearing, and it's too plain, you know? I don't know if I'm explaining that right. Crazy though that he's like getting the family involved. Amazing. Good riff. See, like this part, it's just like, it's like the song like screeches to a halt. The verses are good. The chorus is just like boring a little bit. I lost my voice halfway through that. Oh, his voice. If I had his voice, I would never shut up. Ever. It's so good. See, it just screeches to a halt. Wow, 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 wow. Indeed. Okay. So that was Why You Wanna Fight. Not my favorite song. I think it's at the bottom for me right now. I think that it was like, I felt like the chorus was a little bit too plain for me. It was very, very empty in terms, like, sonically. The production wasn't anything crazy. And there was so much negative space that you would expect that the production would allow it. There has to be a reason for negative space, right? Negative space has to be very intentionally put in for specific reasons, and typically it's because like the production can bring it, or because when that space isn't there, then both the production and the vocals are like very, very big. So it's like big, small, you know what I mean? So there has to be a reason for there to be a lot of negative space, and I personally felt like there just wasn't a reason for that on that chorus. And so because of that, it felt like the song was just coming to a halt, like it was just hitting the brakes. The verses were good. The verses were really interesting. I loved the bridge. The bridge was the best part of the song. That was great. That was him flexing. I felt like production was good. I felt like he was good. It was all very, very good. But the choruses just brought the entire song down, in my opinion. It kind of just weighed it down. So not my favorite. I also feel like lyrically so far, none of the songs here have been anything crazy. It's been his typical like crooner BS of like, you're amazing girl, and how many different ways he can talk about how she's amazing. And I don't know, there's no emotional vulnerability there. I have no idea who Bruno Mars is as a person. He very much he does try really hard to keep the listeners at an arm's length, in my opinion, which I guess is fine. That's his artistry. But then I would expect the song to be lifted up in other ways, and that wasn't the case with this song. So why you wanna fight? Probably at the bottom for me, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's move to the next track, which is track 6. It's called On My Soul. Let's do it. Okay. Woo! Hell yeah. He loves to start with his oohs, man. I'm not complaining. This is good. Oh, the quality of his voice when he's that high is so nice. And he has that rasp too. Amazing. Ooh, that like the growl. Ooh. Ah, this one's heat. This one's good. Oh, he's done that vocal riff before. He's done that before. On Put It On a Smile. Put On a Smile, I think. Yeah, he's done that before. Alright, that was On My Soul. Great song. I was glad to hear that this wasn't just like a Silk Sonic remake. It was its own thing, so that was good. Good pop song. I heard a riff there that he's done before. He's done that on Put On a Smile, so that was interesting. I'm very happy to be able to recognize things like that. Makes me feel better. Makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, lyrically, we're not getting anything on this album, is what I'm understanding here. Lyrically, we're not getting any vulnerability, we're not getting anything personal, we're not getting anything super clever. It's just, classic crooner songs. So, yeah, when the songs are this good, I guess I can't complain very much. Vocally, it was fantastic. Yeah, great song. Top 3, in my opinion. Yeah, let's keep moving. Alright, let's go to the next song, which is track 7. It's called Something Serious. Will it be something serious? Probably not, since he has not been serious for a second on this album. But we'll see. Let's get into it. Ooh, back in the Latin groove. Hey, let's do it. Alright. Is there a bed squeaking in the back? I hear something squeaking. Interesting refrain. Okay. The payoff for that was not that much. Yeah, not a fan of that. I think that's the chorus, and I'm not a fan of that. I know it says refrain here, but I'm pretty sure that's the chorus. Alright, that was track 7. That was Something Serious. And yeah, it was not something serious. Honestly, with all the conversations about AI and are artists using AI and like, is that how they're writing and da-da-da, and there's like AI artists coming out, honestly, I bet every single label is looking at Bruno Mars as the perfect candidate for that. Because, like, and so, again, so sorry if you're like a really big fan and if you feel like this might be personal. It's not personal. But I feel like it's just lyrically so unserious. There's nothing there. I feel like if you took every Bruno Mars song, right, and Silk Sonic song, and fed it into a model, like an LLM model, easily you would be able to spit this stuff out. Why wouldn't it be? It would be able to spit this shit out and just give him an album, and then all he has to do is release it, and everybody's gonna listen to it. I don't know. I didn't find this one to be super interesting. I felt like the chorus, which was listed as the refrain on Genius, I thought it was the chorus, was not worth the payoff. The verses were great. This song was carried by its verses. The bridge was nothing. The chorus was not that great. Yeah, this song didn't really do it for me. I mean, it was catchy, and he sounds great. He's always gonna sound great, which is something, right? Bruno Mars is an excellent singer, so even his like just okay songs like this one, they're still gonna sound good. But it feels lazy. It just was a little bit lazy to me. Yeah. So This song I wasn't, I wasn't thrilled by this one. Right, let's get into the next track, which is track 8. It's called Nothing Left, which is a lie, because there's a song after that. So he's a liar, and he should fix his track listing. But anyways, yeah, let's get into Nothing Left. Okay, a ballad.
But these days, maybe those words don't hit the same. All alone in this home that we built, just thinking of you. Thought our light would never fade away, but the fire don't burn like it used to, girl. No, don't wanna let you go, but you know something's got to.
That guitar was cool.
Feels like I'm reaching out.
Okay. It's not as, like, somber as I expected it to be. The guitar always comes out of nowhere. His growl, man. Yeah, 10 years later, his voice is still fantastic, you know? If anything, it might be stronger. He might be using it better. Ooh, guitar solo. Nice. Oh, he sounds so good. All right, that was track 8, Nothing Left. This was cool. It was very much like Last Straw. Like, he's emotionally exhausted in his relationship. He sounds, again, phenomenal. Like, his voice is amazing. His, like, his growls, his belts, it's all so good. It was interesting. There wasn't a lot of, like, restraint here. For a song where he's talking about how he's, like, nothing left. He certainly, vocally, he had a lot to pull from. So that was impressive. But yeah, again, it's harder to say something about these when the substance is kind of gray. I feel like even track listing wise, I can't really say this is telling a story, because it does just go back and forth between, like, you know, we're fighting, just kidding, we're something serious, you know, and now I have nothing left. And then the next song is called Dance With Me. So even, like, track listing wise, there isn't a story to hold on to. There is, lyrically, it's just this, in my opinion, this project is lacking. It really is lacking, which is a bummer. And, like, I feel like there's been this push recently where every artist has to also be a writer on their song. You know what I mean? I've seen this so often where people will use that as a dig, where they're like, but, like, that person doesn't even write their own music. And normally I'm like, yes, it is great to see artists write their own music, even if it's with other people. I'm not saying, like, not even just, like, writing it alone, but, like, it is very cool to have artists who are singing also write their own music, because then it shows that when they're delivering, there's actually something that they might be pulling from in the song itself, you know what I mean? But there are special cases where I think that, you know what, maybe, just maybe, an artist does not have to be the only, like, the artists have to write their own songs. And this might be one of them, because from what I understand, Bruno Mars wrote every song on this. And I think the only other producer on this is D-Mile, which D-Mile's killing it. D-Mile's doing his job. D-Mile's doing great. But I'm thinking maybe Bruno Mars needs a writing camp. No? Maybe he needs a writing camp. Maybe he needs to be like Rihanna. And no digs to Rihanna. I think, if anything, that's why I love Rihanna's music so much. I think there's nothing wrong with leaning on the songwriters in the industry. Just because, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I feel like it's just... lyrically, it does nothing. It's just okay. This could be anyone's song, is what it feels like. The only way that this is really a Bruno Mars song is just by how, like, vocally difficult it is, and by the fact that it very often goes back to sounds he's already had. But otherwise, this could literally be anyone. So yeah, this was okay. This was not a bad song. I actually really enjoyed this song. But we're coming to the end of the project, and I'm kind of feeling like I have nothing left, you know. I'm coming to feel like, you know, I don't know if this project is something that's going to be super memorable. I don't think it's going to be something that's taking his music in a new direction. This very just much just feels like him putting out music and being like, "Ah, I made this, take it." You know what I mean? Like it feels lazy. A little bit lazy. That's my honest opinion. I'm always going to share my honest opinion on here. I'm very sorry. I might mince things, I might sugarcoat things, and I feel like I'm doing that a lot right now. But I will always share how I actually feel, and that is how I'm feeling. All right, let's move to the final track on this album, track 9. It's called Dance With Me. Normally, I look at closers to see, like, does it close off the album thematically? What does it say? Is there like a concluding statement? I don't think that this album has been so, like, targeted in what it's trying to say, so that's just not going to be relevant in this case. Let's just see if it's a good song. More oohs! That is a prevailing pattern on this album.
Girl, you know I'm hoping
Okay, it's him trying to pick up the relationship.
when the music ends,
Okay, I like that.
we'll fall in love
That continues a little bit from the previous song. I can get into that.
all over again. Dance with me, darling, just one more time. It's been so long since I held
Yeah, you know what? Lyrically, I'm liking this a little bit more. Because it's at least a little bit more complex.
till we get it right. Will you dance with me, darling?
Ah,
One more time.
ah, his voice. Ah, he sounds so good. Ah, these runs are gonna be fun. Mm.
Will you dance with me, darling? Dance with me just one more time. Please, please, please. Nobody but dance with me.
Ah, beautiful falsetto. Ooh. All right, we get it, brother. And just like that, that is the album. Wow. Okay, so Dance With Me, let's talk about that first. Dance With Me was a good song. Lyrically, I liked it a little bit more. I felt like it was a little bit more, slightly more complex than the previous songs. Because so many of the previous songs were just, I'm so in love with you. Let's dance. You know, can you dance? Let's dance. Oh, this music's so good. Oh, this night is so nice. You know, like so much of it was that. Then we had the one song that wasn't that, which was "Why You Wanna Fight." I felt like just like sonically was very lacking. So yeah, that song was just sonically very lacking. So this was nice, where I felt like lyrically it was a little bit more interesting. It chose a different like topic to really sing about. It was a little bit more bittersweet of like their one last shot of making it work. He's like you know, it sort of touches on like if the previous song was nothing left, this is sort of like, you know, with all of that fighting, let's just see if we can make this work one more time. Maybe we can dance together, and maybe we'll get to see why we're together in the first place, right? Which I appreciated. I really did appreciate that. When it comes to the album, unfortunately, I wouldn't really say I have a lot of good things to say. I felt like a lot of the songs on here were really good. Like 5 or 6 of them, I really, in fact, no, most of them, honestly. Honestly, the only 2 tracks that just weren't for me were Something Serious and Why You Wanna Fight, and then Maybe I Just Might has just gotten a little bit old. But all the other songs were really great. Sonically, they sounded so good. Vocally, he kills it. Every song on this, he brings his vocal A game. I really appreciate him for that. We need that more. So this is definitely a project that we needed to hear. We needed to hear more male vocalists. But I feel like as a project, it's not like in my opinion, it doesn't feel like an artful project. There's no thesis statement. I can't figure out what he's trying to say with this album. You know, I feel like albums are becoming a lost art, you know, where like albums, they typically come with a purpose. There's a purpose they're fulfilling, and I don't really think this fulfills a purpose different than anything else he's ever put out. It didn't feel like this was really telling a cohesive story or anything like that. The only time I really got that was towards the end, where you have Nothing Left and Dance With Me sort of like leaning into each other of like, you know, he's kind of giving up on this relationship. She's not really giving anything to the relationship. And then Dance With Me is like, he's like hey, let's try this one more time. But I felt like I felt like Dance With Me doesn't really work as a closer. It doesn't really close out the album. That could have been placed anywhere, you know what I mean? And then same with the first track, which was Risk It All. I just feel like that those could have been placed anywhere. And part of it is because there isn't as much substance to this album, it feels like. So really you can put any of the songs wherever you want, and for the most part they work. The only thing you really have to then think about for track placement is like, what does it sound like? You know, do I introduce the album sonically really well? Do I close it out really well, right? I also felt like the Latin inspirations on this album were like a random blip. I feel like he only really brought them on for like 3 or 4 songs, and then the other 4 songs they weren't necessarily there. So it's like I can't even. There's nothing to anchor this album with. Is basically what I'm getting at. I'm having a really tough time anchoring this album on what makes it special in his discography and the albums we hear this year in general, and I'm having a lot of trouble with that. So yeah, I felt like if anything, this could have been like a really good mixtape, maybe, or like, it would have been cool to see more continuity between the songs, maybe, a little bit more vulnerability from him, especially when I feel like his peers in the industry are, at least on the vulnerability front, are just coming a lot harder. Harry Styles is gonna have an album coming out next month. You know what I mean? And I know that one of the things I love about Harry Styles is he is a fantastic lyricist, and he also has great production. And so I'm thinking, like, you know, when you're turning to an album to listen to, would you pick this one over that one, right? And I feel like personally this just one offers a little bit less. If all you need from a song are great vocals and like a snappy production, hey, this is a great album for you. I feel like this would be a great vinyl album. This is a great album to have on vinyl, because if you're having a party at your place and you just wanted good music the entire time, or for 35 minutes, I guess, considering that's how long this album is, I feel like you could put this vinyl on, and from every song you'd get the same general vibe. Nothing would really change up the party in that regard, so that you could put this on in the background. This is very much a background album. You know what I mean? This is great to play in the back. There's just not anything to sort of like critically fixate on or listen to here, which is, I guess not every album is going to be like that, but I was hoping, I will say I was hoping for a little bit more from him in that regard. For Silk Sonic, I would say Silk Sonic was in a similar boat, except for the fact that I found the lyricism in Silk Sonic to be, in Evening with Silk Sonic, to be a lot more clever, and the part that anchored the album, the fixation of that album, was the fact that it's a collaboration between Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars and Bootsy Collins, and it was a very, very new sound. Especially, it's not something anybody was like really making at that point in the I think it was 2020. I think it was. Can't remember, to be honest. But it's a sound he came out with that nobody else was really coming out with. It was a sound that felt like his voice was made for him and Anderson .Paak together. Like, there was more reason to really hear that, even if lyrically they weren't betraying anything about themselves, even if it wasn't emotionally vulnerable. That's what that fixation was. It feels like he tried to continue that energy, but it's just him, and it's not anything super new other than Latin tipped tracks. If anything, I think if the Latin influences were more pervasive throughout the song, that would have been better. That would have been a little bit better for me. I think then I'd understand that at least this is what that album's doing for him. I don't know what that album's doing for him. I don't really know what it's doing for me other than being a background album. All right, I have kind of rambled on that one, and I hope I didn't step on any toes or hurt any feelings. But this to me, at least with the albums that we've listened to on this channel, and the albums that are coming out this year or have already come out, this wasn't anything crazy to me. I am kind of bummed that I feel like most of the albums that we've heard on release day have just been okay. Like, the only one I can think of that we've really gotten to hear on release day was maybe The Life of a Showgirl, which, again, sorry if you're a fan, but that album, for me, as a fan of Taylor Swift, was a disappointment. So yeah, it is what I guess it's a weird curse this channel is running into, but hopefully that'll improve soon, because we've got some cool albums coming out in March. I know that Ray's album, This Music Will Contain Hope, is coming out, and I'm expecting good things from that, because her first album was fantastic. I know Harry Styles' album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, is coming out. That should be really, really good. I'm trying to remember what... Oh, and then Noah Kahan's album, The Great Divide, is coming out, I think in April. So we've got some good albums to look forward to. But yeah, if you're still watching, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please throw it a like. Let me know down below what you want me to listen to next. I love hearing about new artists. and new projects and new videos and new performances. So please let me know what you would want to listen to, and let me know what you thought of this project as well. If you are enjoying this so far, if you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.